Okay, first we see a bird, weaver bird. So generally we see the birds building their nest. Birds, they make their nest with dried leaves or twigs or small sticks or dried grass, or they may use a fiber of coconut or hemp. Such fibers they make nest. But if we observe this weaver bird, it builds its nest with 3 leaves and it stitches the leaves to make its nest. So it shows a lot of skill in making its nest. It will collect 3 leaves. Out of the 3 leaves, and it collects a very broad and big leaves. With the 3 leaves, 1 leaf it uses for the bottom and the other 2 leaves are used for sides and the top. So in this way its nest is built and the bird makes living. So in the nest in this way. So see how artistic and how creative it is, and see the skill of stitching a small nest with the help of leaves. So that is done by the weaver bird. We see other birds also making. We see the sparrow also. It makes a nest in a beautiful design. It's some kind of fiber. It makes it. We see the crow and other kind of birds also make nest with the twigs and sticks. So that kind of intellectual ability we see in these weaver birds. We can observe such skill in a mammal called as beaver. Beaver is a mammal. It tends to live in stagnant water. It comes to land quite often for food and other things, but even it would prefer to live in water. Beaver. So these beavers are usually found in North America. So what does this beaver do? This beaver, it builds dams for its living. So it can build a dam. So how it build the dams? It will find a stream. So in the stream what happens? The water naturally flows out. So near the stream, on the banks of the streams, there will be trees. So what the beaver does is, the beaver with its sharp teeth, it bites the tree trunks and it makes the trees to fall across the stream. And it will carry so many rocks, small dried sticks, twigs, branches of the trees, and it brings all such stuff and makes a dam. So it can make a dam up to a height of 4 feet. So 4 feet dam it can build with the help of rocks and tree logs, twigs and such stuff, and it makes the water stagnated. And it lives in the stagnated water. So for its living, to make its home, see how much big work it is doing. It is building a dam. Such a wonderful behavior is observed in beavers. So if we see another example, we can see the wasp. We generally see the wasp in our surroundings. You might have seen a wasp. Usually has got a blue color body. Sorry, it has got a yellow color body with dark bands on it. Yellow color body with dark bands. It has got wings also. So what do this wasp does? Wasps, they build their homes with mud, which looks like a pot. So these kind of homes are built with mud. So the mud they use for building their home is wet. So with a wet mud it makes, and it will be very hard, just like you feel it like some cemented substance. So generally the houses that are built with cement using proper proportion of sand and cement and water, then you will find that structure is hard, not easily broken by touching with hand. They becomes hard and stiff in such a way. With mud it can make some pot like homes. We can see these kind of pot like things in the corners of our ceilings, in the outdoors, in the balconies we can find it. So it makes such a home by using the mud. It will not make the home with just mud. It collects the mud that is having the proper ratio of sand and clay, so by that it can make a pot like mud. And if the mud is not available in such a condition, it will make the mud into that particular texture. If the mud is dry, it will add water to that and make it wet. If it gets wet mud, it dries up the wet mud to the amount of moisture it required to make the home. Such a way it collects the mud at a specific moisture and it makes its house. So what it does is, after making the house, it collects the food and places the food inside the house, inside its home, and it lay the eggs on the food collected. So when the eggs are hatched, when the larva comes out, the larva feed on the food already collected. So it is having the future idea, anticipation. So it is thinking for the food of the future coming larva. So such a beautiful intellectual abilities are seen in different animals. So we have seen some examples like weaver bird, beaver, a mammal, and wasp. So let us see some more experiments performed by scientists to understand the behavior of animals. So we know that certain characteristics like hiding or cheating or bluffing, so these are all the characteristics of self-conscious, and generally we see these characters in human beings. So what happens, we observe the people, even though they have some money in their pockets, they do not reveal it to their friends or to the other person that he has got money. So he may think that if he reveals it out, the other person may ask for some loan. So that is the reason he hides. Even we see certain people, even though they have got good amount of snacks or food in their boxes, they may hide it. So in anticipating that somebody may ask for share. So we observe this kind of cheating or bluffing or hiding in humans. But these kind of behavior, it's also observed in animals. Let us see some examples in which certain animals show this behavior. Scientists observed a bird called as scrub jay. So this bird, it shows such a behavior. What it does? When this scrub jay bird was observed, this bird, after collecting the food, it started hiding its food when another bird comes close to it. So it gives an expression that it is not having any food with it. So it is trying to hiding the food which it collected. At the same time, one more incident was observed. So another bird, it came and slowly it has stolen the food. So the bird which hide the food, it is not recognized. It didn't see that other bird is stealing. So in the birds, we have seen that hiding nature as well as cheating nature, that is stealing nature also. So both the things, both kind of behaviors were observed in this scrub jay bird. So here we can understand the thing like animals, they can fix a plan to cheat, just like humans. In humans we observe such a complicated behavior, but such kind of behavior it is also observed in birds, that is hiding, cheating and fixing a plan. Now let us see another example. So if you see the squirrels, have you observed squirrels and their movements? When a squirrel is eating food, it appears like it is feared by someone's presence. So it just gives looks to sides, and so it is eating like it is in a hurry, it is in a fear, threat. So it appears like that. So these squirrels also, they show some kind of behavior, intellectual ability or special behavior. So what they does? So when they get the food, they keep their food in their hands and they start eating, and sometimes they hide their food. So how do they hide their food? They go into the just soil at the bottom of the tree, they dig a hole and they keep the food and cover it. So that is the general way how they store their food. But if they get a doubt that some other animal is watching these squirrels hiding food, so they try to cheat the other animals. So really some animals may be watching this squirrel for food. They might be keenly watching the squirrel where it is storing the food. So after the squirrel leaves, they can come and eat the food. So what the squirrel does is, without keeping the food, simply they make a hole and they cover the hole with some litter or leaves. and it goes from that place and somewhere else it will hide the food. So it misguides the other animals. So the other animals, they come and they look at the place and they find nothing. So in this way, the animal is using its cheating behavior to protect its food, to save its food. So that kind of behavior is observed in squirrels. And when we think about the intelligence of animals, we remember two other animals, that are the dolphins and parrots. In many of the stories, we see parrot as a character which is talking and performing so many things. Even in old movies, if you see that the parrots, they performing so many tasks like talking and carrying the messages and all such. So even dolphins. So in TV shows, you see the dolphins in the pools playing ball and listening to the instruction of the people, communicating with the people. So whoever calls and coming to the people, kissing them, and so interacting with people. So all these we can observe. Now let us talk about the intelligence of these dolphins and parrots. If we observe these dolphins and parrots, if we look at the dolphins, so we can see the logical thinking. They have good logic. They can understand different things. They can understand even the complex code language. So that abilities are found in dolphins, and it was studied by a person. So it was practically proved by a person named as Hermann. So this Hermann, he studied 4 bottlenose dolphins in Cavallo Basin Mammal Research Center, Cavallo Basin Mammal Research Center. This is located in Hawaii Islands. So there he studied 4 bottlenose dolphins. He named them with different names. By his observation, by his study, he understood that the dolphins have very good logical thinking. They could even understand very complex code language. So he trained them in such a way that when the dolphins, they were shown the closed fist, they used to look at the ball, and when he raises his hands, they move towards the ball which is in the tub. So when he raises his hand, one hand, if he raises his hand and shows that the dolphins, they use it to pick the ball. So he trained them in such a way that they understand a complex code language. So for example, if he shows the closed fist, they look at the tub, it shows the tub. And if he raises his hands, if he raises his arms, then they go to the tub. They look at the tub in which the ball is. And if he raises one of his hand, they is to bring the ball to him. So that they understand the signal, the hand signal, and they can understand what action to be performed, and it was performed by them. So if he repeat these signals in a reverse way, they use it to perform the reverse. That means they take the ball to the tub. They throw the ball into the tub. So they perform it in a reverse way. See that logical thinking. And at the same time, they were given some names in the form of long and short whistles. So they can understand the length of the whistle also. So when a dolphin is called with a specific whistle, according to the length, the dolphin uses it to reach the Hermann. So when a dolphin is called, other dolphins use it to stare at this dolphin. That means they also understand that some other person, some other dolphin is called. So in that way, they have shown the logical thinking. And another wonderful behavior by an grey African parrot. Grey African parrot. So this parrot, it was named as Alex. So this African grey parrot, it was bought by a researcher named as Erwin Pepperberg in 1977. So he bought this African grey parrot and he named it as Alex, and he trained it. He taught it 100 words. So it could learn 100 English words, that parrot. And he taught the parrot arranging these words in some sentences. So it could make some sentences out of the 100 words that it could learn. And it used to give answers to the questions asked by Pepperberg. So if he asked what is the similarity, it could say that color. What is the difference? It could say that shape. That means it is able to identify, discriminate the color, discriminate the shape. So that kind of intelligence, it was shown by the African grey parrot. And also it shows, it has shown some creativity also. So when it was given an apple and asked what is that, it told that bannery. So in giving a new name, bannery, it has shown its creativity. So for the taste, it felt it like a banana. And for the look, it felt it like a big cherry. So it has given bannery, mixing the banana and cherry. So it shows that how creative it is. So that parrot, it not only learned the words and not only it was able to make the sentences. So that parrot, it used to train the other parrots also. When the other parrots, if they fail to spell properly, it would say clear. So it was giving instructions also, like a tutoring. It was able to give the tutoring, and it was able to make sentences, and it was able to create new words by its creativity. It could learn up to 7th table before it dies. So till 7th table it could learn. See that how creative, how amazing the behavior of the animal. So it was studied by Erwin Pepperberg. So every species in the animal kingdom, it has got its intelligence, own standard or own level of intelligence, and this intelligence is shown through their behavior depending upon the external stimulus or conditions. So different animals, they have different kind of behavior and intelligence. Sometimes animals, they show feelings or emotions, and they show feelings, sad, happy, we can observe. So if you see that you are leaving for a tour and you leave your dog at home, it cries a lot, it cries like a baby, it shouts that it feels sad. So when you return back home, by seeing you in the gate, it jumps, it wags its tail, and soon after you come close to it, it will lick you. That means it shows its happiness and affection towards you. So these kind of feelings and emotions are also observed in animals. We see that when the cow, it goes out for grazing and comes back, when the calf, when it sees that cow, it licks its calf. So that kind of affection we see among the animals. Such kind of emotions we see in the animals. So certain animals, they show specific behavior in to threat their enemies in kind of defense. We see barking of dogs. When a dog sees another dog, when both are about to fight for food or something, they bark to threat the other animal. And even we see that snakes hissing. Snakes, they hiss, that is to threat the other animal. So anticipating the other animal as an enemy to protect itself, it does such kind of activities. So dogs barking, we see defense mechanism, and snakes hissing, and hedgehog. You know, hedgehog in Telugu it is called as mulla pandi, stiffing its spikes. It will have spikes on its body, hedgehog. You might have seen a hedgehog. It will have spikes like this. So when it faces the enemy, when an enemy comes close to it, so it makes its spikes this way. stiffening. So all the sharp spines come out of the skin and the enemies, they get threatened by the sharp spines. So as a defense mechanism, they show that stiffening of their spikes that is observed. And even Tasmanian devil, this is also a kind of a mammal which releases a stinking, bad, foul smell from its body. So this gas, it is very stinking, very badly smelling, so by that the other animals run away from that place. So such kind of defensive mechanism shown by Tasmanian devil and bombardier beetle. Bombardier beetle. So these bombardier beetle also releases such a pungent and bad odor gas from its body to protect itself from enemies. So these two animals, they show such a defense mechanism, releasing bad gases, bad smelling gases, bad odor gases. So for defense also, the animals, they show this kind of specific behavior. So if you are interested to study an animal, what will you study? You should make a note of the things that you have to study first. That is, first you can write the name of the animal, the habitat of the animal. You can look for that. What is the name? What is the habitat? Or what is the home? Whether it makes the home, whether it can make the home, how it is making the food, what kind of defense it is showing when it faces the predators, defense, and what is the food it is acquiring, how it is acquiring the food, and how it is choosing the reproductive mates, and what are the emotions or feelings, whether it is showing sadness or hungry or affection. So what kind of emotions? Likewise, we can make certain points and we can study whether they are exhibiting so that behavior or not. In such a way, it can be studied. So animal behavior, sometimes it will be very complex. So the study of animal behavior is a science. It is a branch of zoology and it is called as ethology. So this ethology is a science which deals with the study of animals in laboratory as well as a field investigation. So it's a combination of lab study and field investigation, and it is a branch of science that deals with studying animal behavior. So the animal behavior is very interesting and very complex. So that study is named as ethology, which have a strong relation with other disciplines. This is linked to neuroanatomy, and ecology and evolution. So this ethology is strongly related to this other disciplines. So the main aim of ethology, studying the ethology helps us to conserve the biodiversity. So the main aim is conserve the biodiversity. The biodiversity can be conserved well. So the study, the ethology, it started in 1930 by Dutch biologist Konrad Lorenz and Austrian biologist Nicholas Tinbergen and Carl von Frisch. So these people, they have studied the behavior of animals, and they received Nobel Prize in 1973 for their work that they have done, that they contributed for this animal behavior. So in this chapter, we have seen the behavior of animals and the various factors that influence the behavior of animals, and intelligence shown by the animals, and the levels, the standards of intelligence shown by some specific animals. And we also learned that the use of studying the animal behavior and way of studying the animal behavior, and the different people studying the animal behavior, and what the science of animal behavior, study of animal behavior is called as. So these are the different things that we learned in this lesson. And we also learned that the main aim of this ethology, this study of animal behavior, is to conserve the biodiversity.